So we're going to start on the mat, nice and grounded through the feet. And we're just going to start super simple, shifting side to side, noticing the connection of the feet to the ground. And the key focus whilst we do this is mobilization through the feet. It's very easy to forget about the feet. They're super duper important. We get a little bit of clinking and clicking, that's okay. And then we're going to shift forward and back. So pressing down through the balls of the feet, pressing down through the toes of the feet, and then shifting the weight back to the heels. So we're just awakening that core stabilization system. And then we're going to take it right up onto the toes with the focus of pressing down into the mat through the big toe. And we do want to find that sweet spot at the top so we can hold that nice and steady, and then we shift back. So we take it up, press down through the big toes, and then shift back to the heels. Okay, so we'll do one more of those. And then we settle the feet onto the tripod of the foot, base of the big toe, base of the little toe, heel. And then we're going to lift up through the toes and create that nice spread through the toes. And we can do exactly the same with the fingers. So we create that nice stretch and release through the fingers, creating that nice space. And then we relax everything down. We're going to work through the shoulder rolls. We're gliding forward, open over, and then opening through the chest. Really thinking about that movement of the shoulder blades gliding around the rib cage. We glide forward, open over, and then draw that back. Oh, I think I'm going to be in the sun as the sun is setting, as we have no curtains, so you'll have to excuse the light. We draw forward, open over, and then open through the chest. So really nice exercise just to create that release through the upper body. We're going to do one more. And then we're going to hold the hands behind the back or clasp the fingers together. And we're just going to draw those shoulder blades down and together towards the back pockets, just opening through the chest. Okay, so relax the arms down. From here, we're going to take the feet into a wide stance, hands on the hips, and we're just going to wiggle through the hips, but this time we're going to slow it down. So usually we use this as a little bit of a starter for the hip circles. This time's a bit different. We're going to hip through the hip over to one side and then the other. But we're slow and steady, and we're really taking it to that end of range of movement. Okay. Now what I want you to think about when we do it at first is keeping the rib cage still. Okay, so we shift through the hip, but we keep that upper body still. So we shift through the hip, we keep the upper body nice and tall and as still as we possibly can. So really great for the hips. And then we're going to change it a little bit. Okay, so this time we're going to tilt through the hips, rib cage is still. However, we're then going to move through the rib cage. Okay, so we shift that back up. So we tip. Okay, the lowest side of the hip, okay, is the direction we're tilted over to. So if you're not sure, just take a little look at the video. So we tip through the hip, rib cage is still, and then we're shifting over through that rib cage. We bring that back up. So if you're carrying any tension through the abductors, the inner thighs, really nice release, a little bit of core engagement. We shift that over and we bring it back up. We're going to do one more on each side. So we tip through the hips, rib cage comes over, and we bring that back up. Final repetition, tip through the hips, rib cage comes over, and we bring that back to a standing position. Amazing. Okay, so this time we're going to turn out through one foot, okay? So one foot's turning out to the side, okay? And we're just going to bend through that knee a little bit. So it should be a fairly familiar position for you to be in, okay? So we turn those toes out, we bend through that knee. And we're going to do exactly the same with the hips. So we're going to tip and tip. So we're just wiggling those hips, but again, slow and steady. I want you to just notice if there's any stuckness, if it doesn't feel quite so fluent, if it feels a bit kind of a bit sticky, a bit stuck, and we're just tipping through those hips. So really, really restorative for the hips. Really, really restorative. The hands on the hips mean that we know exactly what's going on through the movement. And then we bring that back to center. Okay, we create that nice neutral position through the feet. And then we go over to the other side. So we're turning that foot out. We're bending through the knee. And we're going to wiggle the hips. So again, just noticing how it feels. Does it feel quite free and easy? Or does it feel a little bit stuck and comfortable? Just notice how it feels for you. It's a single-sided exercise, so think about what it feels like this way compared to the other. Create that nice tip through the hips. A nice wiggle. Amazing. And then we're going to bring that back up to a centered position. So feet shoulder width apart. Okay, so this time we're going to leave one hand down by the side. Now we can either have it down by the side or we can place that on the hip. The other arm is what's going to be moving. Okay, we're going to take that arm out to the side and just reach out with those fingertips. Might be a little bit. There we go. Okay, so from here, we're going to reach over to the side. Okay, so we're lengthening and reaching with those fingertips, and you can see we've got that shift through the upper body and the rib cage. We're shifting over, and from there we're creating an arc through the arm, and it's coming up and over into the side bend. Okay, we bring that out. Okay, so our start position, kind of like a little bit like a teapot, hand on the hip, arm out to the side. We're reaching as far as we can with those fingertips. You notice the hips stay pretty still. The movement comes from the upper body. We create that arc up and over into the side bend. We're creating this lovely opening through the side of the body. And then we bring it back into that teapot position. Okay, we shift it out to the side. We create the arc, comes up and over into that side bend. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So the other hand comes on the hip or down by the side. And then we take the other arm out to the side, reaching out with those fingertips. And then we're going to just first of all, create that shift. Just notice that movement. Get familiar with that shift of the rib cage. And then we're going to take it over, create that arc through the arm into the side bend. And bring it back out. We reach the fingertips out. We bring it up and over into that arc, back into that teapot position. We reach. We create the arc up and over. And we're going to do that once more. We reach and we create the arc up and over. Amazing. Bring the arms back down by the sides. All we're going to do is just roll through the shoulders like we did at the very beginning. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit looser now through those shoulders. We glide forward, up and over, and then open through the chest. We glide forward, up and over, and open through the chest. Okay, so the next exercise, I'm going to attempt to shift the camera a little bit so I can be out of the sun. This could go horribly wrong, but I'm hoping it won't. There we go. I think we'll be all right there. I'll save that. I've done it the wrong way. Okay. See how it goes anyway. Right, so staggered stance. Okay, so we're creating a staggered stance, and we want to create a stance as if we were going to do a lunge or a split squat. So, oh, there we go. I think I went too bad there. Staggered stance. Now, one of two things you can do here is, if it's more comfortable, you can lower the back heel. But ideally, you want to be up onto the back toes. Hips are straight forward in alignment with the toes. Okay. And we just gently soften down through that back knee. Okay, the arms are going to go in a position 90 degrees at the shoulders, 90 degrees at the elbows. Okay, so we're in that position. Staggered stance, as if we were going to do a lunge, but we're not. Okay, so from here, I want you to think about a nice strong position through the shoulders. So we gently draw those elbows back, engage the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to do what we do best in the sessions. We've done this loads of times, but this is just a different start position. We're going to tip through the hips, okay? So we're going to tip forward through the hips so that we create a straight line from the back ankle, knee, hip, shoulder. Okay, so we're loading through the front leg. Okay, and then from there, we bring it into a tall position, scooping the tailbone under so we're not overarching the back. And then we go again. We're tipping forward. So I want you to imagine that nice straight line between the back ankle, knee, hip, shoulder. And then we draw it back up. Took the tailbone under, nice length through the spine. And then we go again. We're tipping through the hip. Nice straight line, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, crown of the head. And then we lift it back up. And we're going to do that once more. Tip forward through the upper body. Nice straight line. We draw it back up. We have a moment just to give it a little jiggle. Remember which side you've just done. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So we take the foot back. Okay. As if we were going to do a lunge. Again, if you need to, you can lower that back heel down. But ideally, the back heel is up. Scoop the tailbone under slightly. The arms are in position 90 degrees at the shoulder, 90 degrees at the elbows. Okay, and then we tip through the hip, and we create that nice straight line, back, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, round the head. And then we bring it back up into that tall position. Scoot the tailbone under, we've got a gentle bend from the back knee. And then we tip it forward. And we lift that back up. We go again. We tip it forward. That nice straight line, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder. And then we draw it back up. Okay, we're going to do that once more. Nice and engaged through the shoulders, tip through the hip. We bring it back up. We just give everything a nice little shake off. Remember, you've left it in front. There we go, fabulous. Okay, so from there, all we're going to do is just draw one heel to the bottom, get a nice release through the front of that thigh. Okay, so we're thinking length through the supporting side, alignment of the knees, optimize the position of the rest of the body, and then scoot the tailbone under so you've got that release through the front of the leg. If balance is an issue, use fingertips on a wall. Otherwise, we're challenging balance, stability, as well as getting that nice release through the front of the leg. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So we draw the heel to the bottom, alignment of the knees, optimize the position of the rest of the body, scoop the tailbone under, which means we get more release through the front of the leg. We hold that, we breathe, and then we relax that down. Okay, so from there, we've got one more exercise in a standing position, which is just going to challenge to the glutes and hips. Okay, so we're going to point one foot out to the side. Okay, so the toe can rest down. Okay, and we're gently just going to, like we did before, we're just going to gently tip over to the side, to the supporting side. Okay, we're just gently tipping over. So this supporting knee has a gentle knee bend in it. Okay, so we're not locking out that knee, gentle knee bend. We're just tipping over to the side. So we've got this nice position, nice alignment, or nice straight line. Ankle, knee, hip, shoulder. Okay, and then just bring it up into a tall position. So we tip that over. So we're doing something similar, but a different direction this time. Okay, and then we lift it back up. So this time, next time when we take it over, we're going to hold it. Okay, so we tip it over, nice straight line. Because what we're going to do here is we're going to lift through that leg and then lower it down. Okay, bring it back up. So if you find balance is an issue with this, you can place your hand on a wall, a little bit of furniture, whatever works for you. But we tip it, okay, we lift the leg and we lower it down. So you can see when I do it, I'm not throwing that leg up, okay? That's super easy. We want to create it slow and steady. Now I'm going to move the mat away from me because I feel like I would benefit from a hard surface to do this. So the first thing we do is we tip, okay? Then we lift that leg, then we lower it. So straight away I noticed that on a hard surface I could lift the leg, hold it without wobbling. Okay, we go again. We're going to do another repetition. Okay, slight bend through the supporting side. we tip it over, so we're creating nice length through the body. Okay, and then we lift through that leg, and then we lower it down. We bring it back up, and we're going to switch to the other side. So I've noticed with that I can really feel that around the lower leg. So all muscles around there are working super hard for that stability. Okay, also feel it in the glutes. So we take the other foot out to the side. We point that toe, it rests on the floor, slight bend through the supporting side. And the first thing we're going to do is just tip the rib cage over and then bring it back up. Okay, so we're tipping the rib cage over. We're trying to encourage that nice alignment from the ankle, knee, hip, shoulder. And then we lift it up. So we tip that over. And then the next time we do it, we're going to hold it there. Okay, and then we're going to lift that leg. And then we're going to lower down and bring it back up. Okay, so we go again. So we're tipping it in a nice strong position, lifting through that leg, bringing it down and lifting back up. Okay, we go again. We tip over to the side towards the supporting leg. We lift that leg. Remember, if you need some help with balance and stability, you place the fingertips on a piece of furniture or a wall, and we're going to do one more repetition. Okay, we tilt over towards that supporting side. We lift that leg, and then we draw it down, bring it into a standing position. Just going to give those legs a nice little shake off. I'm going to stand on one leg and we're just going to circle through the ankle. Nice big full circles. And then we're going to change direction. Amazing. And then we're going to go to the other side. So nice big circles through those ankles. And then we're going to change direction. Amazing. Okay. So from here, we're going to bring ourselves down onto the mat. Excuse me whilst I try and straighten up this camera and readjust a little bit. I think that's as good a view as we're going to get. There we go. Okay, so as efficiently as we can, we move down onto the mat into a seated position to begin with. Okay, and we're just going to take one leg in front of us. The other leg, we're going to draw that back towards us, and we're just going to lift that foot up and over. Okay, so it's crossed over the leg, using the opposite arm to the knee that's flipped over. We're going to scoop the arm round, and we're just going to hug the knee towards the armpit. So we should get this nice feeling of release down through the glute area. We're just going to hold that position for a moment. Nice big full breaths. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Okay, so with the leg outstretched, grounded through the other foot, and we're going to lift that up and over. Using the opposite arm, we're going to scoop it round and hug the knee towards the armpit, so we get that nice release down through the glute. Okay, so from there, we're going to place the feet together, and we're just going to encourage the knees out to the side. Okay, so initially we can take hold of those feet and just use the hands and arms to support us in lengthening through the spine. Just get ourselves into a nice comfortable position there. And then we're just going to change that a little bit, okay? So we're going to place the hands down behind us. So fingertips down behind us, lengthen through the spine, and we're going to butterfly the knees. So make sure that we're drawing the shoulder blades down towards the back pockets, and then we're just going to lift through the knees and then lower. So we're just going to lift up through the knees and then lower. So we get this really nice stretch and release through the hips. Lower those knees down, bring them up. Amazing. We're going to do that once more. Good. So from there, we're going to take ourselves into the split leg position. Okay, so I said leg position. So the forward, we've got a front leg, back leg, the hand that can touch the back foot. We're going to use that to move. Okay, so we're going to glide it forward in the same direction as the front knee, and we're going to reach as far forward as we can. Okay, once we've reached forward, we're going to create an arc. The arm comes up and over, and then we rotate that back. Okay, so we glide the hand in the same direction as the front knee, and we reach as far forward as we can. The other hand I've got down to support me, and then we're going to create that arc up and over and rotate that round. Okay, if you want a little bit more from this, if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, the supporting hand comes behind the back. Okay, and we reach as far forward as we can. We create that arc up and over, and we rotate that round. So the fingertips are pointing in the direction of the back foot. We're going to do that once more. So remember, you can use the hand down to support you, to challenge the body a little bit more. You take the hand behind the back. You create that arc up and over. You draw that back. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Okay, so we're in that split leg position. So the hand that can touch the back foot is the one that's moving. The other hand is the supporting hand. We're reaching forward in the direction of the front knee, and we're reaching as far forward as we can. We create the arc up and over, and we rotate round. Okay, we glide that hand forward in the same direction as the front knee. We take the hand up and over. We rotate that back. And we're going to do it with the hand behind the back this time. Okay, so we glide it all the way forward. We lift it up and over. We rotate it back. And we're going to do one more. We reach it all the way forward. We lift it up and over, and we rotate it back. Amazing. So from here, legs out in front of us. Okay, what we're going to do is lift one foot, and you can use your hands to assist you. We're going to place that foot across the other leg. Okay, so the supporting leg, we're going to try and ground that foot. We use the hands, I'm going to use them flat, yeah, to support myself in this position. Okay, so this gives me the opportunity to create a nice position for the shoulders, opening through the chest. It's kind of like the figure 4 stretch, but in a seated position. And we're just going to hold that there. So if you want a little bit more from this, okay, if this feels okay for you, then we're going to lift up through the bottom and lower that down. So we lift up through the bottom, we lower that down. Remember to reset the shoulders. Okay, if you need to rest from this, if you need to increase the length through the supporting leg so you can get the other leg into that position, then go for it. Okay, but the goal is to be able to hold that position and then lift and lower out of it. So we're loading through the shoulders. Okay, we're getting some nice work through the hips. We're going to do one more. We lift that up, we lower it down, and then we're going to switch to the other side. So remember, if you need to straighten that leg out a little bit, you could even take it into the figure four stretch lay down if this isn't great for you, yeah? So we ideally want the supporting leg grounded, or foot grounded, and we've got that figure four position of the other leg. So we're going to hold that there. And if this is your optimal, this is your level, then keep it here. Otherwise, we're going to set those shoulders in a nice position, and then we're going to lift the bottom up towards the sky, and then lower that down. Reset those shoulders, lift the bottom towards the sky, lower that down. Go again, and lift that up. Lower that down, shoulders in a good position. Up we go. Lower that down, and then we switch out of that position. We're just gonna straighten through those legs. We're gonna give those wrists a nice little shake off. You can clasp those fingers together and just circle through those wrists. We change direction. And then we're just going to place the hands flat down behind us, but open that chest. Okay, relax through those hips. Just open everything out. Amazing. Okay, so from here, we're going to flip it over into the 4-point kneeling position. Okay, so we're just going to cat-cow to begin with. So you can do this in a standing position if kneeling's not an option. Okay, where you would just place a hand on those legs and we're just going to curl through the spine and then take the tailbone back and lift through the chest. So this is the standing version. Otherwise, we're going to work through the cat-cow in a 4-point kneeling position. So we're going to draw the belly button to the sky, lift through the chest bone, tuck the tailbone under, and then we move into the cow, so tailbone back, lift through the chest, belly button down towards the ground. And then we go again, all the way up. Belly button to the sky, tailbone under, pressing down through the hands, lifting up through the chest bone. And then we take it into the cow. A nice spinal mobility exercise, tailbone back, lift through the chest. Up we go. Into the cat. Lifting through the belly button. Lifting through the chest bone. Tailbone under. And then we take it into the cat. Tailbone back. Lift up through the chest. Belly button down. Once more. All the way up we go. All the way up, 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 up. Take it down. And then, okay. Neutral spine, we sit the bottom halfway back towards the heels. We're going to take the arms wider into a Y shape. And we're just going to settle the chest down towards the mat. Okay, so what you can do is you can come up onto those fingertips just to give you a little bit more leeway in getting that chest further down with working on mid-back mobility as well as shoulder mobility. Take a moment to breathe and just settle into that position. Remember, the bottom is just halfway back towards the heels, a Y shape with the arms, settling the chest down towards the ground. Amazing. Okay, so from here, 4-point kneeling position again, and we're going to do an exercise for stabilization. Okay, so we're going to take one foot back and place the toes down onto the ground. We're going to take the other foot back, toes onto the ground. So we're into that front press position. Okay, we then bring one knee back and then the other. So we're keeping it super simple. Okay, we take one foot back, rounded through the toes, and take the other foot back. We hold that front press position, strong through the shoulders, engaged through the abdominals. We draw one knee back and the other. Okay, so a standing option for this would be drawing one knee up, the opposite elbow is touching the knee. Okay, so one knee up, the opposite elbow touching. Okay, so a core engagement exercise. Otherwise, we're going to continue with that. So we take one foot back, then the other. Hold that position, there's no rush. Strong shoulders, engage through the core, make sure you're breathing. We draw one knee down, and then the other. Okay, we'll do one more repetition. We take it back, the other one back. We hold that front press position. A great way of loading through the wrists as well as the shoulders and the core. We draw the knee down, the other knee down, and then we're just going to sit our bottom back towards the heels into that child's pose position. A really nice opportunity to breathe and to notice your breath. So as you take your full breath in, I want you to think about that nice expansion out through the rib cage. And as you breathe out, we're just allowing the body to melt down towards the mat. So with the breath out, we're letting go of any tension we may be holding on to. Nice big full breaths. Amazing. Okay. From here, we take it down into a lying position onto our back. Okay. We're just going to hook the knees to the chest. Give them a little wiggle, massage that lower back into the mat. We just take a moment to create that release through the lower back. Just noticing the connection of the lower back to the ground. Give everything a nice little wiggle. Notice the rib cage. Notice the pelvis. Okay, so from here we're going to take hold of one leg. The other leg we're going to extend it out and we're just going to hover that leg above the ground. We bring it back in and we switch to the other side. Okay, so it hovers above the ground. If you find with this, you get a consistent plunking through the hip, we're just going to shorten the lever so the leg doesn't fully extend out. We keep bending the knee and the heel taps the ground. Okay, so it's shortening the lever, reducing the load. Okay, but the goal is to be able to fully extend that leg out, bring it in, and then we switch. So a really nice way just to engage through the hip and the core. If we want a little bit more from this, we're going to lift through the head and neck, lengthening through the back of the neck. Okay, now from here, we're just going to create a subtle extra lift so that we are engaging the abdominals and we're unloading the neck. Okay, so we go from here, a little bit of an extra lift. So you shouldn't feel this through the neck. Okay? You should feel it through the abdominals. If you feel it through the neck, just lower the head, neck and shoulders down, and we can practice it and give it a go another time. Okay? There's some people who really are quite kind of carry the tension through the neck. You may always feel it through there. Okay, so we don't want to put excess load through the neck. You should be feeling it through the abdominals. So remember, at any point you put the head, neck and shoulders down. Breathe as you move. And then we're just going to relax everything down. We're going to lengthen through the whole body. Take the arms overhead. Stretch out through the legs and just create that nice full stretch through the body. Amazing. Okay, so the next exercise, we're going to bend through the knees, a nice relief exercise. We're going to do like we did before. We're going to place one foot and ankle across the leg, like we do with the figure four stretch and release. However, slightly different to the figure four, we're going to aim to take this foot, okay, so the foot that's crossed over, we're going to rotate and we're going to aim to take that foot to the ground. Okay, so we lower that down, we take that foot to the ground, and then using that core engagement, we're going to bring ourselves back to center. Okay, we switch to the other side. So take it into the figure four without the rounded foot lifting up. Okay, the underneath we're aiming to take this foot to the ground. Okay, so we're rotating through the body. Okay, so that lowers that foot to the ground. And we just rest it there. So we're ideally aiming for the shoulders to remain grounded. Engage through the core, bring it back up to center, and we switch. So ankle goes across that leg, encouraging the knee out to the side. We rotate, lowering that foot towards the ground. And then we're going to lift that back up. So if it's a new exercise, if you're a little bit unsure, just take a look at the ankle comes across the leg. We rotate, lowering the foot to the ground. And then we bring it back up. We're going to do one more on each side. Okay, we take that foot across, we lower it to the ground. We lift it back up, and we switch to the other side. We lower that over. We bring it back up. We're going to place both feet down, arms out to the side, and we're just going to rotate by lowering both knees over to the side. We're looking at fluency of movement. We're really focusing on nice mobility and release through the lower back. Again, trying to keep the shoulders grounded. One more on each side. So fluency of movement. Keep those shoulders grounded. We bring it back to center. So we're going to just work through the shoulder bridge. Now the idea with the shoulder bridge is we're going to do a few repetitions, just the normal shoulder bridge to get the body used to the movement. Then we're going to add in a variation. So the first thing we do is scoop the tailbone under, flatten the lower back to the mat. The arms down by the side, the feet are grounded. Okay, from here, leading with the pelvis, we lift the pelvis to the sky, maintaining the grounding of the feet, and we squeeze through the bum cheeks at the end just to get that optimal movement. We roll down through the spine to take us back to the start. Okay, so notice how that feels through the spine. We scoop under, we flatten the lower back to the mat. We lift up through the pelvis and we squeeze through those glutes. We roll it down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. We're going to do one more repetition. Scoop the tailbone under, flatten the lower back to the mat, squeeze through the glutes. Lift the pelvis right up to the skies. Sky. Squeeze, squeeze. We roll it down. Okay, so the variation today is going to be about the back mobility. So we include the arms as a full body movement. Scoop under, lift the pelvis, and as we lift the pelvis to the sky, the arms come up overhead. We relax the arms down to the ground. We still squeeze those glutes at the top. And then we're going to roll down through the spine as we did before. If we hit a stuck point, the arms come back up and over to assist us in the roll of the spine. Okay, scoop it under. Pelvis to the side, lift the arms up and overhead, relax them to the ground. Squeeze through the glutes. We roll it down. If you do not hit a stuck bit, the arms remain overhead until the bottom is grounded. And then we bring the arms back up and over. So we scoop under, lift the pelvis to the sky, the arms come up and overhead. Squeeze through the glutes at the top. And then we roll it down. Bring the arms over, hug the knees to the chest, give them a little wiggle, massage that lower back into the mat. And then we're going to take ourselves into a nice comfortable position wherever that may be. Okay. So we're just going to take a moment to relax, to breathe, and to create a sense of calm through the body. So we can do that by focusing on our breathing pattern and encouraging a deep, relaxed breath. So as we breathe, I want you to imagine with the breath in that you are filling your body with air. So we get a nice expansion out through the ribcage. We get a nice rise through the tummy. And then with the breath out, we're allowing the body to relax down towards the ground. So we're letting go of any tension we may be holding on to. And we're encouraging that deep, relaxed breath out. So a nice big full breath in, filling the body with air, right down to the pelvis. Gentle rise through the tummy. And then a deep, long, relaxed breath out. Just allowing the body to melt down into the mat. So we're settling into a rhythmical flowing breath. If you notice that you naturally pause the breath between the breath in and out, or the breath out and in, then let it happen, that's okay. As long as it feels relaxed, as long as it feels calm and comfortable, then that's okay. So we're thinking about creating a longer breath out. So really notice that length of breath as you take the breath out. So we're just going to take our awareness to our toes, our feet and our ankles, our knees and our hips, our tummy, that gentle rise and fall as we breathe in and out. Draw awareness to our fingers and thumbs, hands and wrists, our elbows and shoulders, our rib cage, and the very centre of our chest. Draw awareness to our neck and jaw, muscles of our face, our eyes and forehead, right to the crown of our head. Just settling into a calm state. Relax through the body, relax through the mind. We're just going to give our fingers a wiggle, give our toes a wiggle. You've got your eyes closed, slowly open them. Just going to bring ourselves into a seated position. We're going to take the legs out in front of us, the hands down behind us, lift and open through the chest. Take a couple of nice big full breaths just to finish the session. And we are done and rested.